Hello, hello, and welcome back to Paint Minis Live. I'm your host, Bill T, and today we're going to be going back at it for a second time on our D&D Human Fighters. This is a little paint job for a guy named Kyle Shawant, I believe his name is, over at Dungeon Delver and his channel. Um, this was for his birthday. I'm gonna be once they're complete. I'm gonna be packaging these guys up and sending them off to Kyle to just a little birthday present kind of thing. And it gets once again keeps me out of the rut of just doing 40K stuff all the time, which we'll probably end up having to go back to, as it's going to be a bit of a minority of the content on the channel for just a little bit, because we are going to be working on the red dragon miniature that's going to be coming in from the Dungeon Delver soon. He's going to be putting that in the mail here pretty quick. So little D&D stuff going on just for now on the channel. I've prepped myself. I hope you're prepped. I got myself a nice apple cider, adult apple cider. And I got my brushes prepped. Got some new water in my reservoir for painting up our mini today. Minis. There's two of them. Let me just get to the paint view here. So I brought up my wet palette today because the other one was it's got a lot of gunk on it. I haven't cleaned it yet. But this is kind of where we left off. They're mostly based. Got some other bits and bobs to work on before we really go through all of the details. But, they doing what they do. Only so many hours that I can do painting on these minis. So, with that being said, I think we're going to go ahead and just start working here pretty quick. Looks like got some more leather work to do on the boots. This guy's got like a little pauldron. Let me just move the camera closer here so you guys can get a better look as I'm going ahead and painting this up here. Let's see how close we can get. Try that out for size. Much better, much better. Okay, so yeah, he's got this little pauldron here that needs to get painted. It looks like his spear needs some work. Just some touch-up portions and pieces that need to get done here. So, so far so good, I think. The little teal bit worked out pretty well from last stream. This guy's got some arm wraps and stuff he's got to get done. Just some little bits and bobs before we really start going ham at it. Well, with that being said, I'm going to drop some tunes. Hopefully I don't get any strikes. I got one for the last stream. But I try to keep all the music on here royalty free, but it's a chore to try and figure that out. But I think it's nice because, especially when I'm one man soloing it without any co-host, I think it works out well to have some tunes. I'm going to set up my wet palette here. This is something that I haven't talked about before I really get the music going. So this is from Exemplar Games. This is their Game Envy brand, I think. The Game Envy wet palette. I just flipped the sponge over. A wet palette is just kind of a tray, a sponge, and then you get a special like little piece of paper here. Let me show that off. This special paper kind of feels like parchment, but it's not. It's just kind of designed to be a replaceable membrane over the sponge so that you can put your paint on it, and the paint will naturally, sorry about the camera there, the paint will naturally just get drawn up into that paper and into your paint that you want to keep around. So I'm just going to get some water from the squirty bottle all up in here. Just going to kind of try and get all the areas that look like they're not wet. That's a pretty good amount of water. Gonna take, they've got this little card that I figured out what it's for. It's so that you can kind of scrape around inside of here and get the moisture where it needs to go. And I tend to leave just a little extra in the bottom of the palette. But I do enjoy using a wet palette when I'm doing a longer session of painting. I don't enjoy using a wet palette when I'm going to be just doing like a couple things real quick. I find that it's like too much setup time, as you can kind of see already. I'm just trying to get all this water all around, and it does take a little bit of time. But it's okay. If you've got the time, go do it. I'm looking for I want it to feel moist. Any place that doesn't feel moist, I'm gonna come back over with a little more. I'm trying not to totally waterlog the entire deal, but I do want it to get as much of that water in there as I can so that my paint stays hydrated. But I don't want so much in there that it thins the paint further than I want it to. So that's looking pretty good. There's just a tiny bit extra in the bottom of the tray, which is kind of what I want. That way, later on, as the water continues to evaporate, it'll stay hydrated in there. Now on to the paper part. This is a little bit tricky. So with this, I'm going to try and line this up because as soon as it starts to get hydrated, it's going to stick on there real good. So I'm just going to start I'm going to get a couple little places of it down on the palette here, and then take that card again. As you can see, it's really starting to peel off because it's getting hydrated. Hydraulic motion, something along those lines, is kind of what's happening here. And as you can see, that paper peeling. I want it to lay down in there flat, get soaking. I thought I would do this on the stream just that way people can kind of get an idea of what using a wet palette is like. I think I need a lot more water than I originally put in there. I'm just going to give it a good old squirt. Get a bunch of water in there. As you can see, now it's pretty waterlogged, but I kind of want it to be that way so that this paper will stick to it. Oh, here we go. I'm not the best at setting these up, but I can kind of get the job done usually. There we go. Now she's starting to stick. I may end up having to pour some of the water out of this. Kind of doing a hack job at the setup, but I think it'll be worth it if I'm going to be down here streaming for a bit. Let me bop them tunes. All right. Here we go. Almost there. Just got a couple little problem spots. So say, let me pause that real quick. I wanted to talk about guac. Kind of a fun little word. Guac is the great underground gaming expo that Dungeon Delver puts on, and he's running it right now. But in the future, if you see him over on his channel start talking about the guac, it's well worth it to attend. Um, it's kind of fun. It's set up in a Discord. It's all about RPG stuff. He's got a special guest that's going to be there. They're playing RPG games all day. Um, and it's like, I think it started on like Thursday or Friday, I believe. And it was a lot of fun to attend. I was just kind of a lurker there this time around because I didn't know much about it, but they're very welcoming. If you've ever had an interest in wanting to play an RPG game, no matter what your level is, whether you're just figuring it out or whatnot, you can go check out the Guac. Um, they have like merchandise stuff there. It's like an in person kind of convention deal, but just digital. So same kind of deals there, though. You know, you've got people who are, um, they have companies there that are talking about their stuff and all kinds of cool things. But I listened into a couple of sessions of role playing while I was at work, listening in on the guac, which you can do. You know, just you can enter a room, just make sure you're muted or whatever, and you can listen into their sessions and just have a good time. It's kind of like a radio show deal. Well, at least that was kind of my experience with it. Was kind of like a radio show or whatever. A lot of fun, great characters, great people playing them. I couldn't help but laugh quite a few times during these sessions. I'm just gonna move the camera a little bit here. See if I can't. Yeah, that'll be fine. But yeah, I had a great time at the Guac, and just hearing the stories that were told and the people telling them. It was good. Listened to one about some just a your standard dungeon crawler, where a bunch of people were going through the dungeon and whatnot, and they were just having a blast and cracking jokes left and right, and really playing out their characters. There was a priest that was in the group, and he was absolutely hilarious. He played his priest real well. Um, he had like a pet or whatever. It was this tiny dog, and he called his pet dog Dogma, and I thought that was pretty funny. But it's like little stuff like that that people come up with on the fly, and you can go check out the guac um, when it's running next, or even now or tonight or whatever. You can check that out over on the Dungeon Delvers YouTube channel. He's got links there, and you can go right into the Discord and go ahead and join that. He's put in a lot of work to set that up and done a lot for his community over there to make that a thing, and it's just open to everybody. It's open to everybody. You don't have to subscribe to his stuff or whatever. He's just happy to share the love of gaming, and I respect the heck out of that. So moving on. I'm gonna, now that I got my wet palette set up, as you can see, it looks like most of that water has kind of come out of there. I'm gonna dump this guy. It's just a little bit extra in the bottom. But yeah, for a wet palette, this is kind of what you're looking for. You want the paper to stick basically right to the bottom and have as many little air pockets out of it as you can, so that it's actually just hydrating your paint and not the paper. So I'm kind of going through and doing a couple little extra little bits here, but that way the paper doesn't lift in like leaf style fold on you while you're painting. And these wet palettes from Exemplar are you can, let me show you the lid if I can find that real quick. Bum, bum, bum. Where did I put the lid? Here we go. So these Exemplar palettes are real fun. They've got the, you know, your standard snap-on kind of Tupperware deal going on with a gasket in there for air. Also comes with another little travel paint tray deal for on the go. You can stick your brushes in here. Real nice. They don't pay me or anything to talk about it, but I just think great gear is good gear, and everybody should kind of know about it. There's also a vent hole at the top, so you can kind of vent the moisture out of there when you're done with it. You don't even have to, like, you know, that way you don't have to worry about mold or anything like that. And it just kind of snaps together. You can put this in a refrigerator and your paint may last till tomorrow. So that's how long this thing will keep your paint hydrated. But for a 4-hour session, I think it might be worth it to go ahead and pop out the wet palette for today, just because I'm using so little paint that by the time I go back to it after doing some detail work, it'll still be moist. All right. Well, with that being said, I'm going to go through and find all the touch-up spots I need to, and we'll go from there. Mm-hmm. Some tan flesh, little couple bits on the arms I gotta go back over. Little drop of doer. Just trying to get all those little nooks and crannies I may have missed on the basing pass done on this guy here. Some places that needed an extra layer too. Nice. Looking good for the flesh so far. I think next we're gonna go back with the item metallic gray here. Let's see here, dark silver. Gonna mix some of that up. I think I went a little too heavy on some of the highlights. Just got a little bit thicker, like a thicker band on the places I wanted to highlight. So I'm gonna mix some of that up, redo that. Ever so carefully trying to clean up these highlights just to leave a nice thin little streak of them.
Always on the road, always on the phone, but still I can't tell you what's up. Working half the days and still don't get straight, but now you take me home, the place where I belong. This melody in my bones, it takes me home.
Nice. We're looking good there. Cleaned up some of those highlights. Real nice. Just gonna wipe my brush off here. Always good to have a clean brush. I'm gonna maybe do the same silver on his sword. I think that might not be a bad idea. There we go. He's kind of got this crooked sword, but that's how it came in the pack, unfortunately. But I'm not sure if there's a way to undo that. But if anybody knows how, let me know, because I'd love to do that. It's looking good. Let's see here, a little transparent brown. Gonna put this one on the dry palette though, because it's already pretty thin paint. Just retouching up some of this transparent brown I did for the leather work on here. Transparent brown coming in clutch. Nice. Turning out pretty well on the leather work anyways. It's pretty looking, it's looking good. I'm satisfied with the results. Nice. Find any other areas that could use a little touch up on here before I move on to doing things like the face and the armbands and stuff. Looking good. Let's check you out. This guy could definitely use a little more.
I am frightened of the rain. When it comes pouring down, I'm always the one to blame. And you'll never see what I did for you.
Alright.
Why is it only our love?
Still messing around with the transparent brown a bit. Just trying to make sure I'm hitting all the areas that need to. Alright, moving on. So, I think I gotta go. It was mahogany I was doing for his pants. Alright.
something out of a storybook. Oh, it took everything I had inside, and I'll tell you how I felt last night. You were so damn crazy, my type of lady, driving me insane. You were up and down, but you stayed around, and I will never be the same. Can't get you out of my head. Ooh, like a melody. Ooh, out of my head. Ooh, like a melody, like a melody.
Right.
Goosebumps for showing. You were in slow motion. Oh, I never seen anything like you before. Oh, I can't take it anymore. You were so damn crazy.
Looks like I gotta clean my brush. Sometime when you see the bristles and they start like fanning out, it's a good idea to clean your brush. Some might be lodged in there, or has a little stuck paint, or it just needs a little moisture to create that capillary function. Trying to do a little bit inside the legs. It's not a part you see, but hopefully a little extra bit in case if it's on the tabletop and gets knocked over or something, it still looks good. At least that's my idea there. Cool beads. I'm gonna call that complete for now. Gonna move on to something else. I'm actually gonna go back to that silver for his pauldron. Do I wanna... The other guy's got like this... Let's take a hot minute and do a little paint planning. I like to call it a little paint planning. So he's got this like kind of necklace deal going on. I did it in white gold and it looks pretty good. I wonder if his pauldron shouldn't be the same. Yeah, we'll keep it like white gold. Alright, cool beans. Let me shake some of that up. Alright, here we go with the white gold. Just a little dabble do ya. A little dabble do ya. Alright. If I could get this thing to focus. Come on. You know you want the booze. Sorry, this is really blurry. Let's see if I can get it to reset here. Hey! How you doing? This thing is having the time of its life trying to autofocus this. Hold on. Oh, God. Pardon me. Oh wow, I haven't gotten definition like that from the autofocus system on that before. Oh wow, yeah, now you're really starting to see it. So this is the product so far. There we go. She's back into focus. I guess that's all she needed was just some premium paint jobbage in order for us to have the right focus. All right. Let me get a nice tip on my brush here. Gonna go after this white gold. I usually don't take it straight from the pot like this, but for some reason the primer on this model really loves it. And if you haven't seen the first first video for painting this miniature, I got these from just whoever makes the Dungeons and Dragons minis, like the officially licensed ones. I got one of those that was unpainted but primed, and whatever the primer is on this that they put on these is really hydrophobic. So all of the paints have been working pretty well, just like almost right out of the bottle. But if I were gonna do it in the future, I would probably just go right over its own primer with my own, because trying to do anything with a little bit of water, it's almost like an oil slick or something like that. It's kind of crazy. So moving on. Cool beans. Not bad. I'm gonna try and sneak a little white gold. I'm gonna go down to a smaller brush size. This one's gonna be a number 2 from Monument Hobbies and their Tabletop Minions set. Like that channel as well. He's a fun guy to listen to. Not a mushroom, just entertaining. Also, I just realized most of this is not in frame. There we go. Cool. Looks like I need to redo just a little bit more of this metal. That'll do it. Not too worried. Put a little, looks like I need a little bit more brown under his chin, so I'm just gonna go real heavy on this. Like really hard to reach. Nice. All right. Just want to the blatant white primer on this. It shows me every little mistake. So kind of trying to maintain that level of detail, level of quality we strive for over here on Paid Minis when we're not just speed running our way through everything. There we go. Cool. Looks like we're going to be going in with another brown. Where was it? Dark umber, I think, was what I was using for the wood and everything like that earlier. Dark umber, yeah. Let me mix up some of this. I'm using Pro Acryl from Monument Hobbies. I love these paints. I love the company behind them. I called into them, got their CEO actually on the phone. I wasn't even, I didn't have any complaints or anything. I just I didn't have a complaint or anything about their paint, but like I just said, hey, I'd like to know who I can comment to. I have a comment about the paint. They sent me right to the owner, and I got to speak with her, and she was just a lot of fun. She was super thrilled to hear that somebody really liked their paint, and I'm sure she gets rave reviews. But it was just really nice that she took the time to speak with me, and I had nothing but great things to say about it. It flows through an airbrush perfectly with a little thinning. Also works really well on just your regular old palette. It's perfect for it. Just a nice product overall, and the people there are wonderful. So if you're looking for paint, you're looking to buy a lot of it for a good price, go check out Monument Hobbies. You'll love their stuff. I love their stuff. I bet you will too. The price per bottle is super affordable on it, and like I said, it's great paint. Especially when there's a lot of brands out there that cost so much more. Let's see here. Yeah. I'll put a little bit more on this guy too.
Woke up with tired eyes, but the sun changed my state of mind. They will be my guide tonight. Even though my heart's been played out like a song, even though it seemed right, always turned out wrong. I feel you coming closer. No, it won't.
Again, just trying to fill all these gaps that are just blatantly white. Tackling his spear now. Trying to get a coat of paint on that bad boy. really trying to focus in hard on making sure I don't hit any of the areas that I just touched up, because that's always a bummer. Oh man, this is a little tricky.
When it gets dark at night, you'll find me by your side. When tears fall from your eyes, I'll try to make you smile. 'Cause to me you're the light that makes the darkness disappear.
All right, there we go. That'll do it. That'll do it. I'm not too picky. I'm not trying to win a golden demon. All right. Now what do I gotta do? I'm thinking I need to go a little darker hue on his like little soccer mom style soccer mom kilt thing. He's got like a hoodie tied around his waist on this one. Yeah, he's got like the middle school soccer mom hoodie deal going on. So I think I need to take that just a little bit darker, which I'm gonna do. Oh boy. I'm actually gonna mix up that jade, and it's gonna be his little armbandy things he's got on.
When it gets dark at night, you'll find me by your side. When tears fall from your eyes, I'll try to make you smile. 'Cause to me you're the
So this stream is probably gonna be a bit shorter. Oh, pardon me. That one came through right in the mic. This one is probably going to be a little bit shorter because I have some more work to do on a totally different project that needs to get done related to the channel. But I have a totally different project that needs to get done, and I'm not going to publish anything about it yet. But that needs to get done too. And I only have so much time to paint, so I'm hoping to get as much as I can done on these guys, and hopefully have them basically done for tonight before I go and work on that. Which I think is possible, minus maybe a little bit of the weathering. So as long as I can do that, we should be good. There we go.
You find me average. Funny how one could be so wrong. 'Cause you know I'm a savage, and I never stop even when I prove them wrong. I won't let you tear me down with your poison lies. All you are is talk. Why don't you put yourself on the line? You say that I am way too loud, no I don't think so. You say I take up too much space, no I don't think so. You're scared of losing your place, yeah I know so. But it's on the ground, I ain't coming down.
Again, just trying to be real careful of the parts that I already went over. It's looking good, looking good. All right. Thought that turned out pretty well.
Eyes are open and I can see that everything you gave me, I can give myself for free. Paid so much for your love, what's your quality? How you gonna go and
Let's see if I can get a little bit of a better grip on him. That looks pretty good to me. Nice. Cool, cool. Got the jade done. Probably gonna need just a little bit of time to let that dry though before we go on to weathering effects, or it's just gonna smear everywhere. Oh, missed a spot. It's like just a little feather looking thing. Nice. I hope Kyle really enjoys these. Being a big, like, D&D nerd. Oh, and I'm just gonna drop it. Being a big D&D nerd, I'm sure he's gonna enjoy having some custom fighters. Do they have a headband, too? Kind of hard to tell. We're just gonna call that hair. Just gonna call that hair. It's so modeled, like muddled in the detail, like the sculpt itself, that it's really hard to pick out if it's like a headband or what that is. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Although there shouldn't be that much hair on this guy's face, so we're gonna go back and pinkify it. I'm trying to model these, like, there's obviously a lot of brown on here, but I got sent a picture of Kyle, and I'm trying to model these after him so that I can kind of play his games and immerse himself like he's actually the character, which is kind of the whole point. But there we go. Cool. Go back, grab a little bit of this transparent brown. Looks like I missed a spot over here. Nice. That blended all right. Little mistakes get fixed with weathering, transparency, contrast. Gonna go with a little bit of this mahogany. Get a couple extra weapons. I'll have to go in there with a real fine brush, just a little gunmetal gray. Or gunmetal silver, I guess. Cool beans. I think they are now base. What do we got here? Anything else that needs doing before we move on? Nothing there. All right. I think we'll move on here. Get to the next part. Take a quick break. Let the eyes readjust a little bit. I think the next step here is going to be going back over the cloak that he's got, with maybe a darker shade of blue, just to give some shadows and contrast in there, because shadows and contrast is always a good thing to have. Other than that, these guys are looking pretty good, and it's just down to letting the paint dry and then kind of going off to do things like highlighting the skin, doing some highlights on the hair, some other stuff, then kind of just being done. I think with that project, it was a challenge at some points. This project, I learned so much. Let me turn the music down like a little bit here. It was a challenge at times on this project, having not done something like a leather tunic before, and that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. At first, I didn't think it was going to work out so well, but doing kind of a semi-slap chop method with brown and transparent brown on the tunic worked out pretty well. What else? What else was kind of a challenge? The sculpts are pretty good, although it's not quite as blatant on some of like the detail areas, which I think on a larger size model, like one of these Space Marines, where you can see how big that is, and then when you're working at a scale that's like absolutely tiny, and then some of the details are kind of like reliefed maybe from the model, so they're a little less, after probably a couple thousand mold casts of this character. After like a couple thousand of those, I'm sure those detail lines start to get a little funky, whereas a Space Marine like this guy, the lines in this are so thick and just deep into the model that they can run these for quite a while and not have an issue. With those lines starting to, wear away from the molding process. So that was kind of difficult. The primer has been a challenge, working with whatever this weird primer is. It's great that it likes it right out of the bottle, because it saves me the step of having to thin it. However, it also makes working with the paint feel a bit more gelatinous, or like, you know, it's thick. It feels really thick to me. I like to work a little thinner. So yeah, that's kind of been my hot take on some of the challenges that I've come across in this project, and it's been a delight to work on. Though I think, you know, if you're new to painting, pick up some of these guys, because they're, you know, this Human Fighter 2-pack you get for like a couple bucks. I'm not sure, you know, local market, blah blah blah, but for me it was pretty cheap, and I think these would be great practice models to hand somebody that's like, hey, I want to try painting. Pick them up like a couple of different monsters from this D&D set. Get them a, you know, a starter line of paints. You could probably pick up like just a couple primary colors, or like a brown and a tan, or dark. I think I would probably go with like a dark umber or something, or maybe what else? What else would I have here? Like a tan, a flesh tan color. A couple other ones in there, and hand them to him as a gift. And I'm sure it would be, you know, a couple extra. Get some brushes from the store. You're good to go. I think that would be a great gift for somebody just eyeballing the hobby of wanting to paint minis, and it'd be good, be great. All right, so let's see. This guy is totally painted here, I want to say, for the most part. Looks like it just needs a little of this teal color. A couple little touch-up points on the bottom of the bottom of his, whatever you want to call this kilt. I'm not even sure what to call it. So we're gonna help him out and make sure his kilt's up to snuff. Cool. This one's pretty well painted, at least for now. All right, yeah, I'll put the stamp of approval on you. You can go over there. This guy, on the other hand, it looks like I missed his sword, so let's see. We'll go with kind of like a darker style on a sword. Maybe do some red tips on the hilt or something. We'll just do it really basic. Doesn't have to be anything flashy, I don't think. I'm just going to try and hit this gray on the back of it. Then I'll go over it with like mahogany or something for break up the color of the rest of the leather work on the hilt. Deal. Good enough. I'm satisfied. And then kind of want to do maybe like some red tips on the hilt. Man, the fact this sword curves so far to the right. It's really out of whack there. It's not really much. I've tried to push it like back in line, but it's just not having it. Yeah. Good lord. Do we give him hairy armpits? I don't know. Let's see if I can get this mahogany real thin and just put it right over the top of that. Almost like a glaze or something. Just get it really, really thin. There we go. We got a hairy armpit. That'll do it. Nice. Cool, cool. So it looks like we're gonna need to let this guy dry just a bit longer before we start manhandling him any further. Let the paint dry for just a little bit. What do we got? About an hour and 10 into the stream here. Let's see if anybody's watching. Anybody out there? No, nobody out there yet. Oh well. So, I guess while we let that dry, I wonder what's going on over at the GUGC, the Great Underground Gaming Convention. Let's take a little look-sees. What are they up to? Oh boy. Looks like they had Tracy Lesh on over at the Dungeon Delvers channel. He did a lot of art for Dungeons and Dragons, I believe, and he's got him on over there as part of the as part of the GUGC. Yeah, Great Underground Online Gaming Convention, GUGC. Not GOG. I don't know what was the acronym I tried to use earlier, but there we go. Looks like they've got some good stuff going. A bunch of people talking in chat right now, so that's cool. Looks like Jack's giving me a poke too. Let's see here. We'll give the paint just another couple minutes here. Let's see here. Do-do-do. So now that I got that down, probably do some highlights. So we started this with, this is skin tone going. What do we have? Kind of did this tan flash. Let's go on to pale pink. Was this one that I've used previously? It has been. Go on to pale pink. So let me shake that up. We'll do that on his arms. go. Just getting some highlights on his shoulders here. Looking good. Gonna mix a little bit of the previous flesh tone in with this. Just make it ever so slightly lighter. Looking good. Looking good. Let's see here. What else are we up to? So we got him done. Let's go on to our next model. There we go. Let's check that out. See if you guys can see it. Just got a little highlight on there. Once it dries, it should blend in pretty well. We'll see how that works. Nice. Well, with that done, let's get that other shade of blue in here. Do the shadow on the do the shadow on the little. I don't know what to call it. The hoodie tied around the waist, I guess. I think I got an idea. I'm gonna use transparent blue over it. See how? No, because then it's not really gonna match, is it? I think we're gonna have to try it. Let's find out what transparent blue and transparent green do. Ah, new color. Let's give this a whirl. Find out what happens. I feel like I'm caught on something back there. I guess not. All right. A little blue. And a drop of green. Mix them together and find out what happens. Well, that should work out. Let's give her a shot. Looking good. Almost done. Kind of created a nice little shadow effect going on in there. Actually need some more of that. Wow, that really gets in your brush, though. Alright. So let's let that guy dry. We'll go through and do some weathering effects on my dude over here. He's looking pretty good in the brown department. I think I'm going to go break out some washes real quick. Do some washing on him. Gonna grab me some good old fallback fluid, the GW Null and Oil. Just gonna make sure my brush is nice and clean before I go in on this black. Gonna dab it on my cloth there, get the most of it off. I'm just gonna wash up this white gold. There we go. Do a quick wash all over the metal. I'm gonna need more of that. Let's get that pot back out. There we go. I'm gonna wash all of the leather. Give it that lived-in feeling. Okay, maybe not that much wash. do black wash on his hair as well. Try and get a decent amount of those recesses so I can highlight them after. Gonna wash his sword, just basically all the metal components. Nice. I think that's looking good. Let's see here.
They say we're too young, that only fools would run away. Feels like we've been stuck, like every day has gone to waste. I wanna see something different. Feels like a life that we're missing. Let's get lost, you and I from the city. We know we can drive all night. We're caught in borderlines of the days I get low. Now it feels so high, from Oslo to Isle sky. We're chasing the northern lights. Let's get lost, you and I from the city. We know we can drive all night. Been waiting forever, something that we'd never reach. 'Cause all that I remember is someone I was scared to be.
I can't wait for the reveal on these. They're gonna look pretty good. A lot of work went into this. You know what? It's worth it.
Let's get lost, you and I from the city. We know we can drive all night. We're caught in borderlines of the days I get low. Now it feels so high, from Oslo to Isle sky. We're chasing the northern lights. Let's get lost, you and I from the city. We know we can drive all night.
Let's let you try. Now I just gotta highlight his hair. I guess light umber.
Every time I'm up, gravity pulls me down. Tripping over rocks, it's like I can't get out of my own head. Never moving forward, only spinning around. I don't know how to get out of my way. I never find the right words to say. I don't wanna be lost at sea when all I need is right in front of me. You're right in front of me. When it gets too hard and I almost lose it all. When it goes too far, you'll be my anchor.
I'm just using a little bit of this light umber, just really lightly. Trying to get some of it on the brush and then take as much of it off on the palette. And then just doing some cheap, dirty highlights on the hair with this extremely thin paint. Not bad. Not bad. I think now all we gotta do is wash up the other guy. We should be good to go. Let's see here. Should probably check the chat. See if anybody's popped in. Nothing yet. All right. Looking good, looking good. Nice. So just got done washing these guys. They look real wet right now, but it'll look nice and dark later. Just gotta wait for it to pool in the right areas. This guy is looking grizzly. Nice. All that is left to do is base them. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do that, to be honest, because the bases that they came with were kind of cheap disc bases. Let me show you one. Like, it's like a flat token quarter thing. They're pretty stiff, but I don't know. It doesn't really feel so. I don't know. I'm not 100% on board. I mean, I guess, but I just. Yeah, we'll glue him to the base, I guess. I'll have to do something. I'll have to do something nice for Kyle on the base. I don't know. I'll have to look through and see if we've got any extra flocking or something to put on there for him, something to make it look pretty. Or maybe nothing at all, because I suppose you're going to be going through dungeons and all kinds of stuff with this dude, so we'll have to see what happens. Now just kind of waiting for that layer to dry. I gotta love that adult hard cider. It's great. I think as far as the rest of this goes, we basically got ourselves a little bit of a mission complete here. Just gonna mix up a little bit more of that mahogany shade I was using. Oh, wrong camera. What do you know? Okay. Just getting some wash up in the skin tone parts. Nice.
I
I think we're gonna call that mission complete. No, we got a little extra highlight on the hair here.
On my phone, I don't wanna be alone. Day and night, I know you are the only one. But it's hard sometimes, all the ups and downs.
Nice. I'm gonna call it good.
Let us take a chance.
I think. Yeah, I think we're gonna call it good. Alright. Well, with that, we should probably put this on the grand reveal. In the grand reveal station? I don't know what I'm calling this thing yet. It's just kind of a cool little spot to put the minis after they're done. Or at least at the end of the stream, putting them in there. It's kind of a cool little show it puts on, but let me get that rolling for you guys here real quick. Alright, there we go. Almost done, just gotta set up the camera. So there we have it. I think that's going to be, for the most part, the completed project. First attempt ever at a Dungeons and Dragons mini. So that was fun. I rather enjoyed this project. number of things about it were a ton of fun. Going back to basics, I usually use an airbrush on a lot of this stuff. Going back to basics and learning the, doing some extra brush work was good to get some practice in. I really liked how the shields turned out. To me, it kind of looked almost like, thatched shields or something like that, where it was, like they were woven together or something. And I thought that little effect turned out real well, where it was just, just a shade lighter. The brown that I used, and then just kind of a back and forth motion with the brush. I think worked out well. What else worked out well? I thought the turquoise jade color, whatever it is, I thought that worked out kind of as a complementary color. That wasn't super wild. Wasn't totally far right for the color scheme of having a lot of browns and like a more realistic kind of paint up. I thought the mahogany worked really well for like having pants that weren't totally brown either. They're more kind of a red color. So that worked out well. What else? I think the gold color as kind of contrasting the really dark silver, the like white gold necklace deal turned out really well. The brass for the arrow blades instead of like spear tips. There we go. Having those spear tips be brass, I think, kind of worked with the color scheme, while kind of bringing a central point of interest to the model. The wash job was pretty easy. I didn't do anything crazy. We didn't go with any streaking grime or anything this time around, since it's a fantasy miniature, so that kept the workload down a bit. I'm probably going to end up basing them off stream, but all in all, I think it worked out pretty well. I had a great time doing this one. I can't wait for it to end up in the hands of Kyle, and have him let me know his thoughts and his opinions on the paint job, because I always love constructive criticism on my work. And yeah, I think it was a pretty successful paint up for this one. Kind of a bit of a quicker one, because I'm already 2 weeks out from, I think, when I heard it was his birthday, so I kind of want to just get something in the mail at least to be like, oh, well, it's late, but better late than never. But I think it worked out pretty good. What else to say? Stay tuned for the Red Dragon paint up. That one is gonna be intense. I'm already starting to think of ways that we can make scale patterns and stuff, and just different colors of for the scales. I don't even know how big this model is, but I guess it's going on the lid of some large juice container as an armature for it. So that's going to be interesting to see the scale of this and just how big it is. But that's a little besides the point. Thank you very much for coming. I really appreciate it. If you enjoy what you see here, do all the YouTube shenanigans. I'm not here to shill. I'm just more or less sharing a passion that I have with the world. But if you like it, I guess. I don't know. Tell me I'm doing a good job or not. So with that being said, take care, everybody. We'll see you next time for Paint Minis Live. I'm Bill T. We'll see you next Saturday.